All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a really wild model of reality from an inventor and mystic named Itzhak Bentov. What if I told you that the universe is basically a giant self-recycling donut, and that your own consciousness is blinking in and out of existence millions of times a second? Yeah, it's a trip, so let's get into it. So let's kick things off with a little challenge. A challenge to your own perception of time. It's a super simple experiment you can literally do right now, and it just might make you look at the clock on your wall a little differently. Okay, find a clock with a second hand. First, just watch it for a bit. Get a feel for its rhythm, that steady tick-tock. Now close your eyes and really sink into a happy memory, something super relaxing. Picture it, feel it, smell it. When you're totally in that zone, slowly open your eyes and just gaze at the watch. Did you see it? Did the second hand seem to hesitate or stutter or maybe even stop for just a beat? To even begin to understand that weird little hiccup in time, we've got to completely rethink what the word solid even means. So let's pretend we have a super microscope, one that can zoom in way past anything we have today. Let's take a look at ourselves. So we point this imaginary microscope at, say, a piece of muscle tissue. We zoom in and we see the ordered fibers. Cool. We crank up the magnification and we see the atoms themselves, just buzzing with energy. But what happens if we keep going? What if we push this thing all the way? Well, at that ultimate magnification, the very idea of solid just disappears. There are no things anymore. There's just this vast empty space, alive with pulsating fields of energy interacting with each other. And this right here is Bentov's first big idea. Reality isn't a collection of objects at all. It's just pure vibration.
And this isn't some brand new idea. Ancient Tibetan Buddhist texts say the exact same thing, that the world we see isn't made of things that move. It is the movement itself. So that raises a huge question. If everything is just movement, what on earth happens in that tiny, tiny instant when the movement stops?
To answer that, we're going to look at something really simple, a pendulum. You'd think it's boring and predictable, right? But its simple swing is about to reveal the most radical, most mind-bending part of this entire model. So, you know how a pendulum swings back and forth at the very peak of its arc? Right before it changes direction, it has to stop. For a split second, its velocity is zero. Now, in classical high school physics, that's pretty much the end of the story. But in the strange and wonderful world of quantum mechanics, that little moment of stillness is where everything gets interesting.
And it's all because of this fundamental rule of the universe called Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The easiest way to think about it is like a cosmic seesaw. The more precisely you know a particle's momentum, the less you can possibly know about its exact position. And if you nail down its position, its momentum becomes a total mystery. You can never, ever know both perfectly.
Okay, so let's apply that to our pendulum. At that moment of rest, its velocity is zero. And since momentum is just mass times velocity, its momentum is also perfectly, precisely, 100% zero. We've pinned down one side of the seesaw completely. So, what does the uncertainty principle demand has to be true about its other side, its position? Its position becomes completely uncertain. And according to Bentov's model, that means for that one infinitesimal moment, the pendulum stops being a thing in one spot. It dissolves. Its potential location smears out across the entire universe at infinite speed, before instantly snapping right back into existence to continue its swing. It's wild. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't just some neat trick for pendulums. This is about you. The atoms in your body are vibrating at insane speeds. Your entire body is oscillating at about 7 times per second. And Bentov's model suggests that with every single one of those vibrations, your consciousness, what he calls the observer, blinks out of reality, expands into the cosmos, and snaps right back. This incredible, ridiculously fast blinking is the key to everything. It takes us right back to our experiment with the clock, and it explains the difference between the time on the wall and the time in your head. So we've all got objective time, right? The relentless, steady tick-tock of the clock. But we experience subjective time, that totally elastic feeling where a fun hour feels like a minute or a boring minute feels like an hour. Bentov is saying this isn't just a feeling, it's a real physical phenomenon. Imagine objective reality is a fixed ruler, and your own subjective experience is another ruler, usually lined up perfectly with the first one. But when you enter an altered state, like that deep focus in our experiment, your personal ruler starts to, it starts to tilt, to rotate away from the objective one. And this little tilt has a huge effect. 1 single second of objective clock time can stretch out to feel like 4 whole seconds to you. That's why the second hand on the watch seemed to slow down or stop. Your consciousness was actually experiencing more time inside that 1 tick of the clock, giving you more room to process what you were seeing. Okay, so if our consciousness is constantly blinking out into the cosmos, what is the shape of the cosmos it's blinking into? Well, according to Bentov, it's not the big expanding balloon we usually think of. Oh no, it's something way more elegant and way stranger.
He sees the universe as a giant, self-recycling torus. Yep, a donut. Matter explodes out from a white hole at the center, expands outward, creating galaxies and stars, and then curves around the outside edge to fall back into a black hole ready to be reborn. It's one single, continuous, self-powering loop, a cosmic smoke ring constantly turning itself inside out.
And here is where it all comes together. Every single blinking consciousness, from an atom to a person to a star, sends ripples out into this cosmic donut. And all of those ripples intersect and interfere with each other, creating a vast, unbelievably complex interference pattern, basically a cosmic hologram. This hologram, which contains the information of everything that has ever happened or been observed, is what Bentov calls the universal mind.
So this isn't just some abstract model of the universe. It actually offers a physical, mechanical explanation for experiences that we usually just call mystical, like a sudden flash of intuition.
So how does a gut feeling work in this model? It's not some message from beyond. It's your own consciousness, in one of its countless blinks, instantly tapping into that universal hologram. And by stretching your subjective time through focus, you create a big enough window to consciously grab a piece of the information you just touched. That's your flash of insight. That's that sudden knowing. And this leads us to the ultimate point of Bentov's model. It's a complete paradigm shift in how we see ourselves. We are not just tiny, separate observers looking out at a big, dead universe. We are integral, vibrating, essential components of it. We're both contributing to and reading from a single, vast cosmic consciousness. So in the end, Bentov's model isn't just an explanation. It's really an invitation. It suggests that we have a direct, physical line to a universal field of all information. The only limit is our own ability to focus our consciousness. And it leaves us with one powerful, lingering question. If we are all part of this cosmic hologram, constantly in touch with everything, what knowledge is already within our reach?